Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
Necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. 580 Live is presented by Thornhill Automotive and is broadcast live from the Parmar Stores studio. The country, the United States of America. The state, West Virginia. The city, Charleston. This is 580 Live. And your host of 580 Live.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
From the Parmar Store Studio, 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group and the voice of Charleston, WCHS. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. 580 Live is brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including the new Thornhill Toyota, where their celebration continues. Come check out the sleek Camry, the versatile RAV4, the all-new Tacoma. Drive away with a smile on your face and money in your pocket with Thornhill. Click or come by ThornhillToyotaWV.com or on US 119 in Chapmanville. We do the show from the Parmar Store studio. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon, including one of their newest locations, Bell Valley, Ohio. That's just off the Bell Valley, Ohio exit of I-77, about 30 miles north of Marietta. And remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. We got a lot to get to this morning. Kanawha County Commissioner Lance Wheeler is going to join us a little bit later on. There's a special scholarship fund that's been set up for a young lady who tragically lost her life. She was a student at Herbert Hoover High School. And she was killed in an automobile accident last year. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that story and about what her family's doing in her honor. Brad Ritchie from Summit Bank is going to be stopping by. Plus, Retrofest is this Saturday in Charleston. And JK, our good buddy JK, the DJ, is going to join us to talk about that. Before I get to all that, I want to welcome to the show gubernatorial candidate Chris Miller, who's live at the West Virginia Chamber of Commerce Business Summit at the Greenbrier. Chris, good morning. How are you, sir?
Dave, man, I'm fantastic, but guess what? I'm all out of bubble gum.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll have to make arrangements. How are things at the Business Summit? Let's start there.
Very, very good. Lots of positive things going on in the state, and that's obviously beneficial to everybody. There's more announcements of more businesses coming here. We're in this really rare sweet spot where we could do something fantastic. We could do something really, really special as a state. But we also have serious, serious challenges that we've got to address.
Yeah.
Primarily, it's the population issue. Mm-hmm. And our number one export for the state of West Virginia is not our lumber, it's not our coal, it's not our natural gas. Our number one export is our educated kids. And that is the primary problem that we all have to fix. Yeah. That affects the bond ratings, that raises the cost of government, and that's what's going to put us in a tailspin if we don't act right now and start driving our population. We're doing some of the right things right now, though, so some of the good things are happening. But I will tell you that being a business guy and watching all this stuff from behind the scenes, I can't help but scratch my head. And, if I ran my businesses like the government spends our money, I'd be broke, simply put. Yeah. And one of the things that we see with all of these deals that happen is that we keep cutting all these deals, and politicians and bureaucrats are just not good negotiators. They're not. And so we wind up leaving a lot of meat left on the bone. And that's one of the other primary reasons why I want to get involved, is that we have this incredible opportunity. We have these major problems coming. Aside from the population issue, PEIA is a disaster, and there's a lot of people that depend on that. And then also the Department of Highways has major issues that we've got to get cleaned up. And, all of those things are going to take business people. It's going to take people that know how to make stuff happen and entrepreneurs. It's not a time for politicians and bureaucrats and attorneys to be running our state, because we will never get the results that we really do need.
Chris, there's going to be a gubernatorial roundtable happening at the summit this morning, I think, at 11 o'clock. What can we expect for you? What kind of preparation have you done? What do you expect to come out of that roundtable this morning?
Well, I'm going to take it as it comes and have a good time with it. I've poured myself into making sure that I understand everything that's going on and understand everything that happens behind the scenes to run our state. And just like anything else that I've ever done in my life, I try to master the subject. So I spent a bunch of time doing that. And we're going to have fun with this forum. it's kind of simple, right? Everybody knows the questions ahead of time, so you're going to see a lot of scripted answers. And that's where I'm going to be different because I'm just going to have a good time and entertain, make people smile, and also answer questions honestly and directly without a bunch of political canned speech, because that's one of the things that just drives me crazy about our leaders is they all talk in this this vernacular, this canned type of speech that they think we don't pick up on. And it's so disingenuous. It's just not real.
Chris, let me ask you this. I asked this question yesterday morning to Secretary of State and candidate for Governor Mac Warner, and I'm going to ask it of you too. Last week on this very show, Attorney General and candidate for Governor Patrick Morrisey said he's the only true conservative that is running for governor. Would you care to respond to that?
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I don't know what's more conservative than interacting inside of the private sector and providing a living to people and operating independently from the government as opposed to being a part of the government. I mean, I literally every single day solve problems the government creates. I'm on my church's council. I probably have more guns than everybody else combined that has ever run for governor in the history of the state of West Virginia. And I believe in the Constitution and free speech. I don't think that bureaucrats and politicians and attorneys are very conservative people by nature. So, I'll take that. Listen, I'll take that Pepsi challenge.
Good way to put it. Good way to put it. All right, quickly, then we got to let you go, and I got to get into some other things here. Let's talk about the crisis at WVU. Your thoughts on it? I know we can't cover it necessarily in a minute. How did we get there, though, and how do we fix it?
So I look at it like this. It's similar to what's happening with the public education system in our state. And WVU has this big bloated layer of administration and bureaucracy that soaks up resources where it flows into the classroom to benefit the customer, who is the student, and the parent that's paying the bill. And they didn't cut any of that. Now, they did cut a lot of programs, some of which were not performing appropriately, but they also cut stuff like graduate degrees in mathematics, and they left stuff in place like gender studies. I mean, I don't know where the priorities are, and I don't think that taxpayers will really appreciate that, and they wind up funding a large portion of that university. So that's all going to come out of the wash. But if we're being frank and we look at what's happening with academia all across the country, we're going to lose 10 to 15% of the universities around the country over the next 10 years from sheer attrition, because we had a big generation backed by student loans where everybody was told they had to go to school, and they went off and got degrees in art history, and they're living in their parents' basement. Meanwhile, all the student loans just mean that the subsidizing of tuition drives up prices. College gets way more expensive. It leads to this arm race for students, and they build all these rec centers and these fiscal plants and stuff. And lo and behold, here we are. And the real problem at the end of the day is the bureaucracy. It's the administration. It's the big layer of bloat at the top that soaks up all the resources before the money flows into the classroom. And that's really, really similar to what's happening in education in West Virginia, just in general.
Chris, I'll have you on when we have a little bit more time to spend. I appreciate you calling us up from the Business Summit. Best of luck in the forum today. We'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
Dave, man, thanks so much for having me. Always good to hear from you.
All right, Chris Miller, again, Republican candidate for governor. Texas, typically educated people don't want to live in a socially regressive state. Is it time for the culture to change in West Virginia to keep from exporting our educated people? 580 Live is brought to you in part by QC Kinetics. If you're tired of dealing with pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, get relief without surgery, drugs, or downtime. Call QC Kinetics of Huntington and Cross Lanes for a free consultation. 304-202-5566. 304-202-5566 for QC Kinetics. Switching gears, big event happening in Charleston this Saturday. It's Retrofest.
Yeah, baby.
And right on cue. That wasn't Chris Miller, by the way. The organizer for the event, the esteemed JK, the DJ, fresh off his co-hosting gig here last Friday, joins us to talk about just couldn't get enough of this place, could you, man?
That's right. Right on, Dave. Thanks a lot for having me back, man. Retrofest, 2 days away.
It's the second year
yes.
for that. And other than the fact that you and I are old guys who like living in the past, where did you come up with this idea? And I say that tongue-in-cheek, of course.
Well, I was checking out the other festivals across the country and across the state, and I thought, man, we need to have a Retrofest. Let's do it.
And so this is the second straight year. What did you learn from the first year? Because it's always a learning experience. And I was there last year. It was fantastic last year.
Yeah, we had a nice turnout and everything. A lot of vendors and good time, great music and all that. We added another band and added some more vendors and got a little more space. We're now out on Summer Street as well as Slack Plaza.
And what time does everything start?
11 a.m.
This Saturday morning. And
yes.
goes till
10 p.m. and then the after party at Black Sheep Burrito right down the street.
And so I was there, as I said, last year. My wife and I went down for a while. It was fantastic. The weather was great last year. It's going to be even better this year. I mean,
Yes,
it's going to be picture perfect for that. And these bands, I'm going to presume that you book. By the way, if you go to Dave Allen Radio on Facebook, or you guys have got a Facebook page, Retrofest, you can find the lineup of all the bands. I'm familiar. I've worked gigs with a couple of, not as a musician, of course, but I've worked a couple of gigs with some of these bands in the past. They kind of got that retro sound to them.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man. We've got Area 304 led by guitar teacher Neil Curry, Ginger Wicks, who has a beautiful voice, soloist, and then Emilia Deal in the Hot Mess could be my favorite in the lineup, and then heavy hitters to wrap it up in the evening.
And both WVU and Marshall have games on Saturday, but not everyone likes the sports ball, as some of my non-sports friends would say. And so here's an alternative. If you want something else to do this Labor Day weekend, as I said, the weather's going to be absolutely perfect. Be something good to come out for. Where can people learn more about it? Yeah,
right on. RetrofestWV.com and also Retrofest on Facebook. You guys will really like what you see there. Check us out.
And this is one of those events, to use a cliche, JK, it's for the entire family. The entire family, there'll be something to go on. Great food.
Oh, yeah.
And great music.
Face
painting.
Yeah.
Good times.
Oh, yeah.
And give us the hours, time, and location again.
Yeah, Saturday, September 2nd, 2 days away, ladies and gentlemen. City Center at Slack Plaza starting at 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. 4 live acts. I'll be the DJ in between everything and your host for the day. And then the Black Sheep Burrito after party starting at 10 p.m.
All right, good saying. Where can people learn more?
RetrofestWV.com and Retrofest on Facebook.
So we invite everybody to come out. It's going to be a great time in Charleston. Again, beautiful weather. Come out and go a little retro.
That's it. Oh, yeah, we're having a costume contest, too.
That's
Cash
right,
and prizes, yeah.
All right, now tell us about that quickly.
Well, we had a lot of people show up in 80s outfits last year. A couple people showed up in disco outfits.
And they did it just for fun last year, right?
Right, yeah, just for a goof. Of course, we had a little contest last year as well and gave away some nice cash and prizes. And the stakes are a little higher this year, a little more money, a little more prizes. So we hope that you guys will come in costume. Any of your favorite retro costumes will do.
And events like this are not possible without the sponsors. You have a list of the sponsors there?
Yeah. Adelphia Restaurant, Capitol Street downtown. Also Tudors and Geno's. We love their sponsorship, as well as the Hale House and Ray Winton and Kelly, attorneys at law.
All right. We'll see you down there. It's going to be a great event Saturday, man. It starts at
11 a.m.
11 a.m. and goes all the way through the evening, including the after party afterwards. Appreciate you being here, JK.
Thanks.
We'll
Thanks,
talk
Dave.
soon, man. Good luck with everything. 580 Live is brought to you part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. They're still out on the road, but they are back at home at Go-Mart Ballpark starting tomorrow night. They'll be taking on Staten Island. For tickets, Dirty Birds gear, schedules, promotions, and more, visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com. We're back after this for the Parmar Store Studio. It's 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses bring first-class businesses to your community.
Get ready for the ultimate summer savings at the new Thornhill Toyota Celebration. Hey, it's Sydney, inviting you to the Thornhill Motor Mile to take advantage of our red, white, and vroom savings. Upgrade your ride with unbeatable deals on our top models, from the sleek Camry to the versatile RAV4 or the all-new Tacoma. We have the perfect car for your summer adventures. You can drive away with a smile on your face and money in your pocket. Click or come by ThornhillToyotaWV.com or US 119 in Chapmanville for the summer celebration. See Thornhill for full details.
Unsure you're ready for retirement? That's understandable. After all, you only retire once. Make the smart choice and call 4th Avenue Financial. If it deals with retirement planning, you can be confident they have the experience you need. Retire right with 4th Avenue Financial. Go to 4thavenuefinancial.com or call 304-746-7977 to book your free introductory meeting today.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Incorporated, JW Cole Financial, JW Cole Advisors, and 4th Avenue Financial are unaffiliated entities.
Ready to turn up the heat and embrace all that summer in West Virginia has to offer? Walker Chevrolet is your ultimate destination for summer adventure. Walker Chevrolet has great deals and a great selection on everything. Explore rugged terrain with the powerful Chevy Silverado, conquer the open road with the sporty Chevy Trailblazer, or experience the ultimate family getaway with the spacious Chevy Tahoe. Walker has plenty of inventory in stock, both new and pre-owned, and they're still buying cars too. All makes and models are welcome in Walker, and they'll give you top dollar for your vehicle this summer, even if you plan to buy somewhere else. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals. And that's because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. So unleash the spirit of summer and embark on the adventure of a lifetime this year at Walker Chevrolet. In the shadow of the Interstate Bridge, just off the Nitro exit of I-64. Walker Chevrolet, making friends one deal at a time.
922 580 Live, presented part by Hudson's Pizza. This month, get yourself a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and an order of cheese sticks, only $21.99. For locations to place an order or for delivery, visit Hudson'sPizza.com. Couple of texts in the Chris Miller interview. Text says, remember, the Millers took $3 million from the government to keep their business afloat, which no doubt has contributed to current inflation. The federal government subsidized their business, and they jacked up car prices. I don't know that for a fact, but okay, if you say so, go ahead. Shout out to JK the DJ. Hey, DJ, won't you play my song? He kept us dancing all night long. Shout out to him. He did my wedding reception, says a texter. Texter says, here's some free speech for Chris Miller. He's an alt-right loon. I'm sure he would like that. With no principles, who gladly scam you. He claims to be anti-woke, whatever that means, at America First. Yet he sells foreign-made cars and brands that openly support LGBTQ. Chris Miller, the staunch conservative, unless I could sell out for $1. I normally wouldn't read a text like that, but because I know Chris Miller has a sense of humor, I read it. So, and I know Chris is probably still listening there at the business of the Greenbrier. Phone calls to 580 Live are a service of Biggly Piggly Wiggly, and texting services provided by Fruth Pharmacy, your hometown family pharmacy. I'm sure you remember this story from last year, and if I have my dates correct, I think it was 1 year ago tomorrow. Not 1 year ago tomorrow. I've already started. It's today. Today's the anniversary. I apologize for that. 1 year ago today, that a Herbert Hoover High School student by the name of Leah Strickland was traveling home from a soccer match. She was traveling with her father when there was a terrible accident and tragically claimed the young lady's life only a few weeks into her freshman year at Herbert Hoover High. The Strickland family has chosen to honor their late daughter with a scholarship in Leah's name, and her mother, Emily, and Mike also joined us right now to talk about it. Emily, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank
you for being here. Mike, thank you for being here as well.
Thank you for having us.
Let me start off by saying, guys, that certainly our thoughts and prayers remain with you and your family, especially today with it being the 1 year anniversary of Leah's passing today. So our thoughts and prayers remain with you because it's a process, as you all well know.
Yes.
Tell us about Leah. Either one of you, Emily, start with you, or Mike, either one. Tell whoever wants to go. Tell us about Leah. What kind of young lady was Leah?
Leah was very active, involved in sports and community, fellowship. She was always going over and above. She had over a 4.0 at the beginning of her freshman year, had already earned over 500 community service hours a few weeks into her freshman year. Striving to always be the best and to be the best teammate also and help others to achieve.
Yeah. What was she like at home?
Very, she was always very uptight and wound up of wanting to succeed and be at the top of her game.
Yeah. So she passes away in this car accident last year, only and it was 1 year ago today, and it was only a couple of weeks into her freshman year at Herbert Hoover High School. And I can't help but it's kind of totally off topic here, but I can't help but wonder, being from that part of the world, with all the hoopla over Herbert Hoover High School a couple of weeks ago, what she would have thought of that facility. I mean, she probably would have absolutely loved that facility.
Well, we say I said she would be mortified at all this attention to herself. Between the race and we're sponsoring tailgate and there's soccer game. Everyone's wearing blue in her honor today, and there's a soccer game tonight. And Hoover's number 3 in the state right now, playing Nitro number 2 tonight.
Oh, big game!
Big game.
So, talk about her interest in soccer. I mean, how long was she a lifelong player?
She started playing soccer. I've played my whole life, coached my whole life. She started about 7 years old. She started 4, hated it. And decided about at 7 years old, she decided she wanted to play again, and then she just kept playing, and we have a phenomenal, community up at Elk River, and just had a really good group of kids that played, developed lifelong relationships, and then she excelled. She was fierce. She was fearless. She was the hardest worker. You know, she wasn't necessarily the best player, but she was one of the hardest workers. Always had a smile. You know, she would turn it on and turn it off. She was just so. I mean, that's what I tell my girls.
Coaching.
She's so.
What's that?
He's still coaching.
He's still coaching, even as we speak.
Yeah,
I mean, he's still coaching the team.
But it sounds like he's still coaching now.
Yes,
That's at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
She was phenomenal. I mean, she was just always positive, worked hard, always.
And sometimes, and as you know, as a coach, I mean, sometimes as a coach, it's not always the players with the most ability that succeed. It's the ones with the most drive. And that's what it sounds like your daughter Leah was to me. She was one of those people. And from what you have told me and from what I know about the family situation, never met you guys till today, but I knew people that know people. And they said that, you know, Leah was the kind of young lady that would have been a success no matter what she did. I mean, if she would have not ever played soccer, she would have been a success because she just sounds like she had that. And she had that good family background too. So you decide to honor her. And of course, there's honors going on, as you said, at Herbert Hoover High School today. But also, there's going to be a lot of events going on at City Center Slack Plaza in the future. Talk about that.
Well, when we decided to do something for Leah, I didn't want to do any kind of candlelight vigil. I don't want to, you know, mellow. I would rather do something that's fun, upbeat. So she likes to run. I love to run. That was something we did together. So we're like, you know what? Let's just do a 5K. And then everybody starts the race on the boulevard. I was like, I want to do something different. Slack Plaza is really nice. It's not, and we decided let's start it there. So we want to start the race at Slack Plaza. We're going to run through the Broadley Walkway. So it's going to be a really cool.
And when is this?
September 17th.
September 17th.
It'll be from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. We will have live music, food trucks.
The New Old Souls
will be performing from 6 to 9. We'll have. This will be a lot of fun. There's going to be a 5K run, a 2K walk, 2-mile walk, and a fun run for kids. So for the event, we just created that just to kind of get everybody together. The community was so good after the race. You know, we know the Elk River's strong up on the river, but the Kanawha Valley, the whole state, the soccer community. So we just thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of get everybody downtown, come, run, walk.
Do the things that she enjoy doing and celebrate her life at the same time.
And have a smile on your face.
We started the scholarship wanting to award a senior female athlete that embodied Leah's goals and her spirit. But now we want to be able to expand and be able to give it to a guy and possibly move on to other schools.
Yeah.
But so we want to get built up.
And where can people learn more about this? So you have a website or social media, or I didn't have any when I was getting a little poster to put up. I didn't have any problem finding it, but just explain to people.
It's Leah's Legacy 2023 on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. If people would like to get involved, maybe they're not a runner or whatever, is there a way that they could make a donation for the scholarship fund, or how does that work?
Run sign up. You can go to Charleston, West Virginia, Leah's Legacy, and there's spots on there to even sign up and do a virtual participation or donations, or people can just show up that evening and help celebrate.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what people do. You know, they get off work or whatever. They may not have the time to. Maybe they're not into running, whatever. But they can just show up, and again, it's September the 17th,
which is a Sunday evening, which is very different.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Talk about, Mike, you kind of alluded to this earlier, but you mentioned the term Elk River Strong. But you heard in her passing in this tragic accident, you guys heard from people from, as you said, the soccer community, people from all over the state of West Virginia. That's what West Virginians do, though. That's kind of who we are. Yes. Talk about that a little bit.
It was unbelievable. I mean, we had friends that came in from Texas, California, and they just couldn't believe the support we were getting. I mean, it was I heard from every soccer coach in the state. I promise you, every team did something, and it was it's really incredible. We know Elk River strong, Kanawha Valley strong, but like you said, with the attention that came our way from that it was overwhelming, and it was incredible, and it just shows you the love that we have in this state. We're fortunate, we're blessed. I mean, we really are to have, and the support's been incredible. Still, people. I mean, it's still to this day, and it's. And that's what it's just wonderful, and we hope to be able to give back into the community as well and help kids, and we're doing a lot within the community with our soccer teams, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so we want to expand and just be involved in the community more so.
Guys, either one of you or both of you, what would you if somebody were to stop you and say, well, tell me about your daughter, and what would you want her legacy to be? I know it's the name of this event, but what would you want her legacy to be? And years from now, what do you want people to think about when they think about your daughter?
I mean, Leah was the kindest, the gentlest human being ever. She would do anything for anybody. She would stand up for anybody. She was strong-willed. She tell you how she feels. Fierce, but she was, everything.
But the funny thing is, Leah thought she didn't have like a big friends, but Leah stood back and let other people be in the spotlight and like helped and encouraged, and
that is the sign of a true leader, in my opinion. The ones that aren't about themselves and aren't about the spotlight. The ones that are let other people bask.
She told us one day, she's like, I only had 3 friends, and we talk about that all the time. And you look, you're 1,000 people at her service. But then
there was standing room only
but,
at like the biggest church
for the
in
kid that
Charleston.
had 3 friends, and now it's like, it's we knew that wouldn't, but seeing all the, it was just, it's unbelievable. Just the students, not even the adults, the way that the kids are handling it. So many kids reached out to me, and it's really, it's humbling. It's hard, but.
Yeah, well, you continue. Got a text here that says Leah Strickland was in my Sunday school class, and she was in the confirmation class in May of 2022, and she went on our church's youth mission in June of 2022. She's such a wonderful lady. So that's it's good stuff, guys. I appreciate you being here. It's kind of difficult, but I think it's awesome that you want to do this and that you want to continue your daughter's legacy, but not just about continuing her, keeping her name out there, but also in helping others, because I didn't know your daughter at all, but from what I have gathered from you and gathered from things I was reading, doing a little bit of research last night, a lot of people thought you had a very, very special young lady as a daughter.
We did. Thank you.
And appreciate you being here. Now, again, give us the details. It's September the 17th. It's a Sunday evening. Starts at
Slack Plaza. It's at 5 p.m. and it'll go till 9 p.m. and there will be food trucks, drinks, and live entertainment.
All right, guys. We appreciate you being here, Mike and Emily. Thanks a lot. Best of luck with everything. Between now and then, it's a couple weeks away. If there's anything I can do or the stations here can do, we'd be more than happy to. You just reach out to us, okay?
Thank you.
And my thanks to Jim Strawn for helping to get this whole thing set up with me this morning as well. 25 minutes away from 10. 580 Live is brought to you part by Generations Physical Therapy. 7 convenient locations along I-64, and they're hiring for both licensed and technically trained staff. For more information, visit generationspt.com. Kanawha County Commissioner Lance Wheeler is coming up next from the Parmar Store Studio. It's 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group and the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for shopping locally.
At Dutch Miller Jeep of South Charleston, we're proud to announce that during the entire month of August, portions of every vehicle sold will go to Wishes on Wheels, which benefits Hoops Family Children's and WVU Medicine Children's Hospitals. And for a limited time, during the Make This the Summer event, get 10% off MSRP on any brand new Jeep Compass in stock. Text or chat now at DutchMillerJeep.com and join Dutch Miller Jeep of South Charleston in helping local children and their families. On approved credit that all will qualify. See dealer for details.
Get ready for the ultimate summer savings at the new Thornhill Toyota Celebration. Hey, it's Sydney, inviting you to the Thornhill Motor Mile to take advantage of our red, white, and vroom savings. Upgrade your ride with unbeatable deals on our top models, from the sleek Camry to the versatile RAV4 or the all-new Tacoma. We have the perfect car for your summer adventures. You can drive away with a smile on your face and money in your pocket. Click or come by ThornhillToyotaWV.com or US 119 in Chapmanville for the summer celebration. See Thornhill for full details.
Ready to take charge of your cancer journey? Look no further than CAMC Radiation Oncology, your trusted provider of advanced and compassionate care. Our experienced radiation oncologists and caring team are dedicated to offering the best treatment options available. Whether you're seeking information about radiation therapy or need a second opinion, we're here to support you every step of the way. Don't delay if you or a loved one has received a recent cancer diagnosis. Contact CAMC Radiation Oncology today at 304-337-5579. That's 304-337-5579, or visit our website at camcradiationoncology.com to learn more. The content of this radio spot should not be interpreted as medical advice. Always consult with a healthcare professional for appropriate medical guidance and care.
9:37, 23 minutes away from 10. Be sure to join your favorite WVRC media stations for WVU Medicine's Children's Hospitals Cares for Kids Radiothon, the 7th and the 8th of next month, which is next week. It's presented by Stike Wealth Management. We'll be raising funds to support the kids who are helping WVU Medicine Children's Hospital right here in our community, September the 7th and the 8th. We heard a lot of information about that between now and then. Let's make a difference together. Texas, thank you for telling that story. Listening from parts unknown, says a texter. Texter says, that story was making me tear up. I can't imagine what that would be like. The one thing I took away from that story, though, was just the outpouring of support for the Strickland family following Leah's death. As they said, over 1,000. I can't get that out of my head. What the father said, that Leah had come home from school and said, I only have 2-3 friends, but 1,000 people showed up at her funeral. That is just amazing. 580 Live is presented in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Whether you're replacing a roof, remodeling a kitchen, or replacing a bathroom, to keep it safe and to keep it legal, get with Pinnacle Consultants. They can inspect your site, collect samples, perform lab analysis, and provide results within a week. Testing all renovations for mold, asbestos, and lead. It is the law in West Virginia. Visit pinnaclecorp.net for Pinnacle Consultants, because what you don't know can hurt you. Welcome into the show, Kanawha County Commissioner Lance Wheeler. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Big announcement.
Yeah, we
yesterday. Talk about that.
Yeah, big announcement yesterday. We've been working on this for about a year and a half. If you remember, you had me here talking about the Coonskin Golf Course, and you asked what projects are going on. I said,
yes.
Well, I can't talk about it. Well, now I can.
Okay.
We're very excited. Out near Meadowbrook, which is owned by the Kanawha County Parks and Rec and Tornado, we have 600 acres undeveloped land across the street. This was something that we just never been able to do anything with at the Kanawha County Commission. There's nothing we could have done. But with the recreational activity going on, we knew that now is the time to look at Hatfield and McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
And Hatfield-McCoy's been something that's been great for southern West Virginia.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's something that we've wanted here in Kanawha County for a long time. Well, we were proud to announce yesterday that that's going to happen. That 600 acres, the Hatfield-McCoy will be creating a 30 up to 36 miles of single track for motorized bikes and e-bike trail system. So this is going to be the Disney World of dirt bikes and e-bike trail systems.
Explain that. I'm going to jump in here 1 second
Yeah.
and ask you this. Explain that, because I heard this in the news story and I read the release yesterday when you talk about e-bikes. And explain to those that this is not like motorcycles like BMX or the motocross type motorcycles, right?
No, they can be.
They can be.
They
Okay,
can be, absolutely.
I didn't know if there was a difference between the two.
No, this is dirt bikes, e-bikes.
Okay, the whole thing.
Yeah, and we're also looking at maybe down the road being able to do mountain bikes as well.
Okay.
But this is going to be a single track system up to 36 miles. It's going to be one of the largest self-dedicated for these types of bikes east of the Mississippi. We don't see anything like this in the country. That's what Hatfield-McCoy is telling me, and this is why we're moving so quickly on it, because we could be one of the first. We'll be the first in West Virginia here in Kanawha County, but maybe one of the first to have this type of large system just for dirt bikes and e-bikes, which is a growing fad going on here in the country right now.
It is, and I'll tell you this story about the Hatfield-McCoy Trail. It all started down where I'm from in southern West Virginia. And when this whole idea was being floated around, I sat in on a couple of meetings in the 90s, and I thought to myself, because I'm not the smartest guy in the world, I thought, who the heck's going to come to Mingo County, West Virginia, Logan County, McDowell County to ride these trails? Well, fast forward well over 20 odd years later, and you go down there on the weekends, and there are vehicles from Canada. There are people coming in from all over the world, literally, to ride those trail systems. And I had a guy from New York, Lance, that told me once, he said, you guys don't know what you have here. And he was talking about the mountains in southern West Virginia. And I thought, well, maybe we don't, because I just grew up around this. Like if you live at the beach, it's not that big of a deal, Yeah. But people, this is a fast-growing thing. And Kanawha County, I think, getting involved in this and that whole community is very, very, very wise on your part to bring this out.
Well, I think St. Albans, especially with Mayor Scott James and his city council, have done an excellent job with the Tour de Cole. That's where we do Tour de Cole, by the way, with the Cole River Group right there at Meadowbrook. And then the Yak Fest, we've been bringing thousands of people out of state to this area. This is just going to add on to that. This is going to be great for the economy. It's going to be good for small businesses, for hotels, Airbnbs. And then you start looking at what we're doing, also piecemealing. We have Shawnee Sports Complex. If we can start to message some of those individuals coming out of state to Shawnee Sports Complex and let them know about the Coonskin golf course, the trails at Meadowbrook with Hatfield McCoy. I mean, we're getting to a point to where Kanawha County is going to be one of the greatest destinations for outdoor recreation for tourism.
Now, explain, I know you did at the beginning of the interview, and again, we're talking with Lance Wheeler, Kanawha County Commissioner. Explain exactly where this is. I mean, put it in West Virginia terms we can understand.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with Meadowbrook, you're going to see, if you're coming out of Meadowbrook, you're going to take a left on the Smith Creek Road. You're going to go about a quarter of a mile, if that, and on the right, there's 600 acres of wooded property that is completely undeveloped. It's just the topo map shows flatlands, but with some rocky hills as well. It goes all the way to the back of the Coal River. This is a massive piece of property. Like I said, 600 acres, all undeveloped. There's nothing there. But what we're going to do is go in there with Hatfield McCoy. We're going to mark out the trails. They've already got an initial map up, which is we're looking at over 30 miles, which is, again, one of the largest for a dirt bike, e-bike trail system, park system in the country.
I think somebody was calling in with a question.
Yeah,
I said,
absolutely.
Hey, Ryan, we can do it. Do we still have him there? Do we lose him? Okay, I'm sorry. I had said we weren't going to take, but somebody called with a question. So Brian, I think it was Brian. If Brian is listening, he wants to call back. That's on me. That's my fault. I thought we weren't going to take phone calls, but somebody said that my producer Ryan texted me and said, well, Brian had a question about it, so I guess we probably could. So I didn't mean to throw that on you there.
That's fine.
So Brian, call back and I'll get you on the line here. That's totally my fault. I want to talk about the economic aspect of it. That's what matters to me. is the dollars and cents. Talk about the dollars and cents.
So we're already working with Hatfield McCoy to create a marketing plan once this is finished. We're looking at starting construction this fall, and we're looking to have an opening date in the spring of next year. And so what we're hoping to do is market this to states all across the area that we're in our region, and making sure we're bringing in bikers and e-bikers here to Kanawha County. I think this is going to be something they're going to want to come to. Hatfield McCoy believes us as well, and that's why we're moving so fast.
All right, I think we do have Brian back, and again, that's my fault. So he had a question for the commissioner. Brian, you're on with Lance Wheeler. Go ahead.
Dave, thanks. Commissioner Wheeler, I applaud you for the effort, but about 12 to 14 years ago, I was in attendance county commission meeting when introduced the concept for the off-road, I call them hijackers, big lifted trucks, Jeeps, what have you, and rock climbing, and not really ever heard anything about that initiative. And is this new opportunity at the expense of that? Because that was supposed to benefit the upper Kanawha Valley, specifically those areas that have been affected the last 2 years by the floods. So I was hoping you could address that, because maybe I'm wrong that nothing's occurred, and if I am, I apologize.
No, absolutely. No, it is not going to prevent anything. So one of the problems we've seen in eastern Kanawha County and upper Kanawha County Valley as well is that a lot of this property that we have to use it on private land, and we have to get agreements from those parcel owners. And that becomes an issue and very time consuming. So we're still working on that. One of the things that we've talked about is in eastern Kanawha County having the trailhead for Hatfield McCoy come off Montgomery. We're still working on that, but there are just some holdouts from some of the private owners that we're still negotiating, allowing access of that trail to go through their property. This is kind of a low-hanging fruit. While we're working on those in the eastern part of the county, this is actually a land that is owned by the Kanawha County Commission. We are the sole proprietor of this land, which means we can grant the access immediately to Hatfield McCoy. What I'm hoping is that this interest that we're seeing out of Meadowwood with the Hatfield McCoy trail system is going to pique interest for more of these things over in eastern Kanawha County. So I can promise you, Commissioner Carper, Commissioner Slango, and myself are going to continue to work on those projects, and it's actually something we've talked about just within the recent couple months.
And Brian, I hope that answers your question, and I hope that also answers the question of your cat that's there in the background as well.
Well, we're traveling back to West Virginia, and my dual cats. But Commissioner, appreciate your vision. It's leadership on the local level that augments what all these wonderful announcements that go on statewide, and I've always felt county commission in Kanawha County probably one of the premier local government entities in the 55 there, and I appreciate you being candid. And I didn't, like I said, wasn't trying to be terse or take away.
No, not at all.
I do understand that, and you got a champion with Jeff Lusk on your side there, so it'll all come to fruition. And I appreciate your vision.
All right, Brian, we appreciate your phone call. Thanks a lot. I wanted to mention that real quick about that partnership with the Hatfield-McCoy Trail, because I personally know Jeff Lusk and John Feckety and those people. You couldn't ask for better people to deal with there.
I've been working with them for the past couple months. I invited them to my office about this, and they are absolutely wonderful to work for. They care. This isn't somebody who's coming in looking for a profit. They actually care about West Virginia. They care about ATVs and dirt bikes and e-bikes. Mm-hmm. They care about that trail system. This is their love. This is their passion, and they're living their dream.
Text says, doing the Hatfield-McCoy Trails in Kanawha County in a different way. I like it because it won't take away from the existing Hatfield-McCoy Trails.
Exactly.
Dear Dave, please ask your guest if this will help or hurt with the ATVs illegally driving on the blacktop on Campbell's Creek. I swear it's like a thunderstorm sometimes. Ridiculous.
Yeah, no, Kanawha County Commission has an ordinance on illegal ATVs on the road. We're not changing that because we're looking at dirt bikes and e-bikes for this system.
Texas Dave, is the commissioner aware that the top speed on an e-bike is 20 to 25 miles an hour? At the top speed on a motocross bike is about 80 to 85.
Yeah, there's going to be different trail systems. There's going to be different. It's just like when you go to any park and you have a trail. They call them more and most. Mm-hmm. Hatfield-McCoy's done this before. They know how to do it, and I trust in them. I'm not going to go in there and try to micromanage somebody who's an expert in it. That's not my job.
And again, talking about the Hatfield-McCoy Trail, and then we'll let you go after that, Commissioner. It's just a win-win, I would think, for this area, to use a cliche. I mean, because you've already got all these people coming into West Virginia anyway. I'm talking about tourists now that are coming in for, you mentioned the Tour de Cole and these other things, and this is just another added thing that we can do when we desperately need to bring people into West Virginia. And who knows, some of these people, Commissioner, could come in here and say, you know what? This place is not that bad.
Hey,
I may actually stay here.
And it's not just for the tourists, too. It's for the locals
as well. Yeah.
I was going around the Tornado area, and you know how many dirt bikes and e-bikes I've seen in people's yards? They're going to be able to participate with this as well. This is going to be great for the locals. It's going to be great for the economy. It's what I've talked about before. It's that checkbox. Check, check, check. We all win.
All right. So what kind of a timetable are we looking at?
Yeah, so we're going to start construction here in the fall, and we're looking to open in the spring.
Oh, wow, that's going to be a quick turnaround.
We're going to work fast. Again, it's because we own the land. This is already owned by the public. The people own this. We haven't been utilizing it. This is the perfect best use for it.
And this is not something that the original Hatfield-McCoy Trail had the luxury of, because a lot of that was owned by different landowners and things of that nature. So you guys already own it.
We already own it.
All right. Commissioner Lance Wheeler, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
It is 9:50. We'll take a break. 580 Live is presented in part by Meeks Realty Group. Our area's most beautiful properties deserves the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. Visit them online, meeks.us, or call 304-440-1101. Back after this from the Parmar Store Studio, 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group, on the voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses live to make life better for you and your family.
Elevators. You take them for granted until they let you down. If you're working to maintain a stellar reputation, then let me introduce you to DC Elevator. We want to work with you to make sure your people get where they are going. What could be better than a new company coming to the area and already having 45 years of experience? DC Elevator is bringing a new culture of elevator maintenance, repairs, modernization, and installation to West Virginia. Don't leave your people hanging. For a free consultation, call DC Elevator at 304-345-7222.
Get ready for the ultimate summer savings at the new Thornhill Toyota Celebration. Hey, it's Sydney, inviting you to the Thornhill Motor Mile to take advantage of our red, white, and vroom savings. Upgrade your ride with unbeatable deals on our top models, from the sleek Camry to the versatile RAV4 or the all-new Tacoma. We have the perfect car for your summer adventures. You can drive away with a smile on your face and money in your pocket. Click or come by ThornhillToyotaWV.com or US 119 in Chapmanville for the summer celebration. See Thornhill for full details.
Be happy and call Pappy. Be happy, call Pappy for heating and cooling. Done right, on time, great service, and at the right price. The name you know, the name you trust. When air quality counts, you can count on us. For new installation or repair, commercial, residential, we'll be there. 304-949-HELP and AC
Get ready to experience sports like never before. Let's talk. Join former NFL pro Carl Lee and an eclectic panel of influencers, activists, and community leaders as they dive deep into the heart of the game, uncover untold stories, shatter stereotypes, and redefine what it means to be an athlete in today's society. Let's talk. Let the conversation begin. Find the hottest episodes at WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk.
952, text says, I'm fortunate with my job that I'm able to text in most days, but with overwhelming conservative-leaning state, I often wonder why most texts to your show are from the few Democrats left in our state. Then I remember that the indoctrinated basement-dwelling liberal listeners probably don't have a job and sit around all day looking for a chance to belittle the actual hardworking folks in our state while they are at work. Somebody asked me yesterday, they said, what is with all these liberal texts that you get to the show? I said, I just read them. I don't know who they come from. I just read them. Texas' most attractive GOP plank is legalizing crime so they can't be criminals. Pretty brilliant, really. Freaks like Warner and Miller, et cetera, incapable of original thought and have no true north to attach an ethic to. It's all culture war BS and opportunism. Weak little men, says a texter. Texter says, I bet Tar will be a hater. Legislators need to take note of what the commissioners in Kanawha are doing. Great job. Well, Eric Tar will be on the show next Tuesday, so I will be sure to ask him what he thinks about it. Texas, West Virginia needs Chris Miller as the next governor. He's a guy who gets it and isn't stuck in the political bubble like the other guys. Well, you may have heard about this last week. I know our news department covered it. It's the merger of Summit Financial Group with Burke and Herbert Financial Services Corporation. It's a merger that creates a holding company of more than about $8 billion in assets and $750 million, I think it is, combined market capitalization. Brad Ritchie is the president of Summit Community Bank. He's based out of Charleston. He joins us now. Brad, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Big news in the financial world here in West Virginia. How did this whole thing come about?
Well, it's been a process that's ongoing for actually a couple of years, and both of these two banks, Summit Community Bank has been providing service in West Virginia since 1883, and we've always prided ourselves in service to our customers, and that's the reason our motto is service beyond expectations. And recently, we expanded into the Northern Virginia area in Reston, and there was a bank over there that took notice of how well we provide service and how well we take care of our customers, and that was Burke and Herbert Bank, who is the largest serving bank in the state of Virginia back to 1852. And their CEO noticed how good our employees are, how good a service that we provide, and felt it matched their service expectations. So he reached out to our CEO, Charlie Maddie, and they started a process that, Dave, we didn't take lightly because our customers are very, very important to us, and they've had numerous conversations over the last 2 years. Our executive management teams have met together, and while we can't share confidential information, we've discussed philosophy, strategy, and what we have as expectations for our company, and progressed to the point where we actually got our two boards together. And, the board of directors of this new company is going to be 50% represented with business leaders in West Virginia that are currently on our board, and 50% of the board is going to be business leaders that are business representatives in Virginia from their board. So once we realized that the expectations of taking care of our customers, our service quality, and what's important to us, both really as community banks, we've been publicly traded for a couple of decades now, and they just started being publicly traded in February. But once we realized that we're both really community banks with the same goals and objectives for our customers, we decided that it would be a good idea to join forces.
What, if any, changes, Brad, will customers notice?
Other than the name, we don't think they'll notice many. And what's important to us, there were several things that attracted us to each other, and what really attracted Burke and Herbert to Summit, other than what I just told you, was the quality of our workforce. We have one of the best efficiency ratios in the entire country, and that's because, and you hear it over and over, I'm at the Business Summit right now, and we're starting to get the word out, and people are starting to understand the quality of the workforce in West Virginia, and that really, really attracted them. So, Dave, we don't envision very many people that work at Summit not working here anymore. And I'm confident to tell you, I think you can count on one hand the number that will be, and it won't be the people that the customers know that are face-to-face with them. So when we agreed to what was a significant decision, because Summit Community Bank means a lot to all of us, and we built that legacy. When we agreed to allow Burke and Herbert to be the new name, we didn't take it lightly, but we understood most of our customers know our people. Our people have been with our company a long time. We don't have a lot of turnover because we're a great company, and our employees love that we can provide the service to our customers. So even though the name Summit Community Bank is very, very important to us, we think our people are more important to our customers. And as far as one big thing that everybody always wants to know is, how's credit decisions made? Are you going to loan money? And we went through that process before we ever decided to do that and set up. I am confident that our borrowing customers will not notice a difference in the way we make loan decisions.
Brad, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. As you said, you are at the Business Summit at the Greenbrier right now. Thank you for being here, and we'll be watching the story closely, and you're always welcome on the show. Get back with us when we have some more news to report. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you.
That's Brad Ritchie again, the president of Summit Community Bank. Couple of minutes away from 10, just about to wrap up the show here. A couple of texts I want to get to. Text says, well, Dave, I finally made up my mind going down next week to change my voter registration from Democrat to Republican. After years of voting the primaries as a Democrat, then voting the general for Republican candidates, and changing my party affiliation so I can support Chris Miller. Text says, Dear Dave, independent listener here, people listen because you're on before Hoppy. Oh, that hurts, man. That hurts. That hurts badly. But I'll take it. I'll take it. All right. As long as you listen, that's all I care about. Somebody else texted the show. Oh, yeah. It says all those liberal texts are Pushkin texting under different names. We'd have to be pretty darn good to do that because a lot of those liberal texts come in when he's sitting right across from me. So he'd have to be pretty good to do that. I don't know. But hey, all types are welcome here. All right. Loaded up show. I appreciate all my guests for being on the show today. Coming up tomorrow, guest host will be Hannah Klein from WCHS TV and Fox 11 Eyewitness News. Chris Lawrence is going to join us, talk a little high school football. Hannah Gardner here from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with our Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. Plus, we're going to talk a little college football with the voices of the Thundering Herd and the Mountaineers here. Steve Cotton will be on the show tomorrow, as well as Tony Caridi. Dave Wilson in the host chair for Hoppy coming up on Talk Line. Follow the news of the day, WVMetroNews.com and WCHSNetwork.com. My producer was Ryan Nicholson. He did a great job today, folks. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
580 WCHS AM, 96.5 FM Charleston, and 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.